I call to order the Elmhurst Park District regular board meeting at the Administrative Office at 375 West First Street. Today is April 27th, 2026, and the time is 7 p.m. Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Roll call, please.
Commissioner Kubica.
Here.
Commissioner Scarcella.
Here.
Commissioner Sheehan.
Here.
Commissioner Smentek.
Here.
Commissioner Spade.
Here.
Commissioner Ubriaco.
Here.
Commissioner Kraft.
Here, we have a quorum. Moving on to additions, deletions, or changes to the agenda. Jim?
Just one from staff. We're going to suggest moving committee reports 4A Elmhurst Parks Foundation to May 11th. As Carrie is not here this evening to give the report.
All right, moving on to remarks or correspondence from visitors. We do have one that filled out a sheet. So we'll go ahead and say welcome and thank you for attending our board meeting. And to take the time to speak with us. Each speaker will have 3 minutes to address the board at the 2-minute mark. Executive Director Rogers will give you a little reminder indicating that you have 1 minute left to conclude your comments. Please direct all your comments to the Elmhurst Park Board of Commissioners. When I call your name, please stand next to our recording secretary so that your comments are picked up by the recording, and please state your name. After I've called everyone that has had a chance to fill out a slip, if there's anybody else, they can raise their hand and we'll give them an opportunity to speak. And to complete our business on our agenda, we do not directly reply to your comments. So first up, we have Andrea Hutchinson.
Good evening. My name is Andrea Hutchinson, and I'm speaking on behalf of many residents who remain deeply concerned about the Park Board's 4-3 approval of the Wilder Park South Master Plan. The decision to place the bandshell in the least favored location, despite clear survey results to the contrary, along with adding a 36-foot pergola and numerous poles for catenary lighting, will fundamentally alter the open, historic character of the park. The community was asked for input, participated in good faith, was ultimately disregarded. That is not an acceptable public process. We're now seeing a similar pattern with the Spring Road restroom. In March, the board approved a location at Spring Road and the Prairie Path. Shortly thereafter, without meaningful outreach to impacted businesses, and despite direct concerns raised by a longtime business owner, a vote was cast to locate the restroom just south of Roberto's outdoor dining patio. That decision lacked transparency and proper stakeholder engagement. While I acknowledge that the Park District is now reconsidering the restroom location, the obvious question is, why now? What changed? And why was that same willingness to listen not applied before the decision was made? If the board can revisit the restroom siting, it can and should revisit the bandshell decision. At a minimum, the size, scale, and placement of the structure must be reconsidered to preserve the park's open space and historic integrity. These are taxpayer-funded projects. You have a responsibility to ensure decisions are made transparently, with clear justification, and with genuine consideration of public input. When that does not happen, it erodes public trust and often results in avoidable costs and conflict. The residents still have not received a clear explanation for the Wilder Park vote. As elected officials, you owe the public a direct and transparent account of your decisions. I urge you to correct your course, reopen the discussion on the bandshell, fully engage the community, and make decisions that reflect both the data you collected and the voices you were elected to represent. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, that's everyone that has filled out a slip. Is there anybody else that would like to speak? Please raise your hand. All right, seeing none, that concludes remarks and correspondence from visitors. Moving on to committee reports. We have 4B Gateway, April 9th, 2026.
Good evening. At the meeting, RGA gave a monthly report. Spring programming had just begun that week. And winter programming ended with 110 individuals and 104 programs. And then spring has increased registration from last year because of softball is really popular this year. The Elevate program is still going really well. We continue to see some interest in expanding the program. One of the participants moved out of the area, and as soon as they left the program, the spot was filled immediately. Summer guide is now out on the Gateway website, and also it's on our website as well. And then going into summer and fall, there are going to be new programs, unified volleyball and flag football. And we continue discussion of the, about RGA taking over the vehicles, to take over that cost from Gateway. And they are planning to do that, as well as they'll take on the expenses for gas, maintenance, and insurance. And then we're working with legal to officially sell the vans to RGA. Any questions?
I have a question. So the March 12th, 2026 meeting minutes were approved, is that correct?
I presume?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, because normally we get them in the board packet, we always get those minutes. And I'd like to see them
Sure.
in the minutes
Sure.
going forward. And I'd like to see them because I don't know how an Elmhurst Park District resident or constituent would have access to them otherwise. I mean, this
Yeah, we
would be
can
the
certainly
place.
provide,
Yeah,
sure.
thank you.
And they should be posted on the Gateway website as well. I have not checked to see if that has been done in the last couple of meetings, but I will do that.
Thank you.
because that is a good point.
Thank you, sir.
Thanks, sir. Okay, upcoming committee meetings are so noted. Sugar Creek Golf Course, April 28th, 2026. Gateway, May 7th, 2026. And the Elmhurst Parks Foundation, May 19th, 2026. You have a consent agenda before you, and I do need a motion.
I move that the Board of Park Commissioners approve the consent agenda of April 27th, 2026, which includes board minutes of the April 13th, it says 2025, but it's 2026 regular, and closed meetings and voucher lists. I do that all year, up until about December.
I have first by Commissioner Scarsello, second by Commissioner Kavisa. Roll call, please.
Commissioner Spain?
Aye.
Commissioner Ubriaco?
Aye.
Commissioner Kubica? Aye. Commissioner Scarsello?
Aye.
Commissioner Sheehan?
Aye.
Commissioner Smith?
Aye.
Commissioner Fry?
Aye, that passes unanimously. Moving on to item 7A, the Prairie Path restroom revised building location, and I do need a motion.
I'll move that the Park Board of Commissioners, 1, review and approve the revised location for the Prairie Path year-round restroom as presented by staff, and 2, approve the Dewberry redesign fee of $27,615, and 3, authorize staff to proceed with design development.
And I'll second.
I have first by Commissioner Space, second by Commissioner Ubriaco. Jim?
Thank you very much. We are pleased to bring this opportunity back to the board, and Angela will walk you through it.
All right, great. Good evening. How's everybody doing?
That is a
Great.
great shirt.
Thank you. Thank you. I thought maybe that one.
She's an early
Yeah.
adopter.
So on January 26th, the board approved the location of the Prairie Path on Park District property near the 9/11 Memorial, near the Prairie Path on Spring Road in the gazebo. On March 9th, the board then approved the design of the building, and some conversation came up about, are there opportunities to move it? So staff reevaluated the sites. We have many constraints there. It's very little property that we own improper. There's a big water line that runs through there. There is a wetland, so we were pretty restricted. But we went back to the county and pitched it again and said, this restroom is really gonna serve trail users, and that's their customer too. And they saw the benefit in that, but they had some concerns. If the restroom was closer to the path, they were concerned, kids get off their bikes, leave them, go use the restroom. Pretty fair. They were concerned about the overhang on the building. Vehicles do go down the path, including our maintenance vehicles, but were they gonna end up clipping the overhang? So work with Dewberry, who went back to their structural and mechanical engineers and said, what can we do with the building? So Eldridge Building is very much a square. What can we do to leave the restrooms the same size, so accessible, same exact as Eldridge? You get my wheelchair in there, if I'm taking littles in there, I can still do that. But can we make the storage and mechanical room more rectangular? I'll let Brian talk a little bit about that. So went back to the county and showed them that and said, hey, we were able to tighten this up. Dewberry also suggested adding a bike rack near the restroom. Again, hopefully the kids won't dump their bike, they'll park it there. So county said, we can live with that. You'll have to go through, not only will we have to get city permits, but we'll have to go through county permitting, because now we'll be 100% building on their property, but they see the value to the trail users. So that's a good part of the story. When we signed a task order and the board approved that on April 14th and 25, that was for $50,000. $50,000 for Prairie Path, Crestview, well, Wilder is different now, but for the 3 restroom buildings, knowing, Eldridge is the third, that the design would be the same. Well, now that we're redoing structural, because we're, Jim and I on a piece of paper, we can make the building a different shape, but we actually have to do structural. I didn't mean to throw him under the bus. I can make it a different shape.
I like it there.
Structural
Under the
and
bus.
also the mechanicals to make sure everything still fits within that footprint. So there's a fee to do that. So Dewberry has proposed a $27,615 additional fee for that. I'm gonna let Brian take you through the design, but staff, for 3 reasons, is recommending revisiting this location. 1, better for the trail users. On the trail, running, okay, do my thing and then just keep going. So that's number 1 positive. Further from the 9/11 memorial, a little more respect for that. But again, that was the only place that was our property. So we started with what can we legally do without, or not legally, but without having to go through extra permits. And to move it a little further from the businesses. So I'm gonna let Brian take you through. We have 2 drawings up here. I'm gonna let him just do a quick little overview, and then I'll show you a picture of the Eldridge restroom and the measurements, and then of the Prairie Path restroom. And again, toilet users are not gonna see any difference. It just feels smaller than Eldridge. It's gonna be same, so.
Thank you, Angela. So we showed this diagram before. What we did include was the underground water utility that runs through the middle of the county property. That's got a 30-foot easement on each side. So this 100 feet is DuPage County. This 100 feet is Elmhurst Park District. We talked about these 2 as options before, but this was on county property. So your advice, we went back to the county and talked to them. The blue shows basically the wetland buffer. This is a high-quality wetland, so it's a 100-foot buffer, unlike Wagner, which was a 50-foot low-quality buffer. The purple represents the easement from the water lane. The green and the green hash mark, that represents the ComEd overhead power line. So the green is the power line, and we've got 8 foot beyond that, which ComEd wants you to have clear and don't build anything within. So we've got a very tiny sliver that we can actually place our building within. So that's why we require the redesign. Before, we were about 4 feet over our area. We're also looking to, if you can look at this, there's a little stipple area right here. We're gonna make all this concrete. It's concrete to here, then it gets to be crushed down, so we're gonna extend the concrete out a little bit farther and put the bike racks in that location. So hopefully the kids and adults will get their bikes off the path and congregate in front of it as well. Especially if you have a stroller or something like wagon, you have an area basically in front to do that. So that's what we're doing on the site plan. And that
It was
gets
very much a puzzle though. I mean, it was, because we probably would have went there the first time, but it wasn't our property and we had a lot of obstacles.
Any questions on the site plan?
Yeah, a couple of questions. The gazebo there to the left of that?
Yes,
Is that Park District property?
it's county property.
That was built by the county or was built by the Park District?
It's county property. I
Right.
don't know who built it.
Is that Park
Park
District?
District, I believe, yeah.
So we've built on this property, I guess, before.
Yeah.
So they're very cooperative with the county, apparently. That's good to know. And there, I guess there was some issue about people riding their bikes and using the bathroom, I guess. That's the whole purpose of the bathroom, is for people in the
But the
prairie
county
path.
was just concerned that they were gonna leave their bikes in the path, so then you're running behind them and you're gonna trip on the bike. So it was a fair concern, so we added the bike rack. Again, we were listening.
Probably should have had a bike rack either way, I would assume.
To clarify, if I may, adding the bike rack was one component, but as Brian said, what we did was we moved the building further off of the path. When we originally met with the county and showed it, as Angela said, they were concerned about, in their minds, how close it was to the path. Not leaving as much of, if you will, sort of a plaza open area, if you will, in front of it. Brian, if you can kind of point out where that is coming outside the building, so that area there, the building was further south or to the bottom of this image, so we moved it back. Also, again, staying out of all of the required easements as well. But so the bike racks are an additive to getting it further off, so therefore if people do dump their bikes, or even if they're just congregating, there will be more room for them to do that in front of that, the doors and stuff.
I guess it just would have been nice to have a bike rack either way, but I see your point.
And if I may too, two things if I may, there are bike racks at the Prairie Path already, Brian's pointing them out there right now. And then one other thing I want to add in terms of kind of the congestion, if you will, at that building, I mean, quote unquote congestion. We have an existing water fountain there that has a dog fountain that's near those bike racks. We're going to keep that fountain. We might look at converting it to a dog-only fountain, because on the building, we will have the fountain and the water bottle filler, but also, we think having a separate one for the dogs will be good, because again, it'll keep people with their dogs on their leashes from in front of the building, where there'll be probably, we know people going into the restrooms, but also like moms with strollers using the restrooms, and people with bikes, so kind of separating some of those uses as well. So overall, we think it's a more cohesive, better design for the path users.
Sure. And will the sanitary be coming down south or
Cemetery and
north?
everything goes to Spring Road.
Okay. But you got two water pipes that kind of go through there. I hope those aren't in the way. I think it splits from 1 to 2 as it goes
Right
across.
there.
And
It doesn't
Brian,
show 2?
I'm sorry?
It doesn't show 2 water lines?
No, we don't have to, we just have one water line for the building.
I'm talking about the big main, the giant
Oh, the big
8-footer.
main runs, basically this dash line is a large main, that's why there's.
And then it splits into 2 when it crosses. Maybe you don't
I
know
don't
that.
know.
Okay.
My civil engineer's gonna find out all that
Okay,
information.
just curious, because if you got a thread between the 2 with the new sewer.
Brian, if I recall, one of the things too was about going south to Prairie Path Lane was that there are no utilities
Yeah.
in the street
No
there.
sewage. Okay.
So we'd end up going west to Spring anyway.
Yeah, and then last real quick, and I'm sure you'll address this, there were some nice trees east of the gazebo, right about where you want to put this, hopefully far enough west that they won't have to knock any of those down.
I think we're.
There's 4 or
impacting-
5 good pines.
I think we're impacting one tree and it's not great.
I think it's two, if I may, I'm not sure, I think it's two, but it's not any of the pines, Commissioner Spaeth, that for
There's
sure.
a
it's
grouping
two.
of 3 or
Yeah,
4
it's not
decent
those.
size.
Those are right, in fact, Brian, you've got those, nope, left,
Right there.
1,
Oh,
2,
yeah, yeah,
3.
okay, yeah.
There's two trees that are not pines that I think will be impacted by the building, but they are not the big pines.
In the original spot, would we have lost any trees with that?
Yeah, I think so, Brian, if I remember, you've got those 5 or 6 identified in green up
That's why I
there.
had these showing.
Okay, so we're going to lose less trees then?
I don't know if it was 1 or 2 previously.
We hadn't gotten to that point, but
Okay.
with the excavation of the foundation and then we went around there and the overhang of the restroom, we probably would have lost a few.
Okay.
Yeah.
So maybe a few less trees this way too, so that's a benefit.
Also, what we talked about is adding a little walkway that would go back to the sidewalk to get to the 9/11 memorial. And then there are 3 concrete pads from picnic benches from long ago. We're gonna get rid of those as well.
Okay.
Clear the site a little bit.
All right, thank you.
Yes, sir.
Just a quick question, which way will the bathroom doors open? Will they open out
Bathroom doors
towards?
will open this way.
Right, so when you're coming from the Prairie Path, the doors will be facing you?
Yes, you'll see them from the parade path. There'll be one door around the back, and that's just gonna
That's
be a
the-
maintenance
yeah.
door, and.
Yep.
And unlike Eldridge, this will only have one door now. Right now, we have a storage door and then we have the mechanical, but because we're going up with.
Which is
the
a
next
good
big-
segue. Yeah. If anybody, unless anybody else has any questions on
Always
this.
Commissioner Sheehan's segue. Oops.
Mr. right on the next tab.
Yep, thank you.
Someday we're gonna find out.
Can you zoom out?
Yeah, exactly, yes. She
So
texted
this-
me right before the meeting.
Zoom out so we can see a comparison. All right, so the top one is the Eldridge restroom. It's also going to be the Crestview restroom. And this is about 19 by 23. So the parade path is just a little bit narrower. Change of the restrooms is rotated at 90 degrees just to get the same size. But we really needed to skinny up in this direction. So instead of having a separate storage and mechanic room, it's just one all space in the back of the building. We'll have one door that accesses this whole space and then the two restrooms, which will face south towards the parade path.
And the overhang shrunk a little by 2 feet, correct, Brian?
No, the
Probably
overhang's
5
still
feet.
3.
Oh, I thought it was 5 on the other one, sorry. Never
The
mind.
sidewalks are 5.
Oh.
That's it. Any questions?
Awesome. Thank you, Brian.
Thanks, Brian.
Roll call, please. Angela.
Commissioner Ubriaco?
Aye.
Commissioner Kubica?
Aye.
Commissioner Scarpello?
Aye.
Commissioner Sheehan?
Aye.
Commissioner Smentek?
Aye.
Commissioner Spath?
Aye.
Commissioner Kraft?
Aye, that passes unanimously. Moving on to referendum, item 7B, Wagner Community Center construction bid package, and I do need a motion.
I move based upon the information presented that the Board of Park Commissioners award the following trade contracts. 1, fireproofing to spray installations in Morton Grove, Illinois in the amount of $1,295,000. 2, gym equipment to H2I Group of Downers Grove, Illinois in the amount of $1,069,103. 3, resinous and epoxy flooring to Artflow Systems, Inc. of Carroll Stream, Illinois in the amount of $71,153. 4, rubber sports floor carpet tile to Tiles in Style of South Holland, Illinois in the amount of $630,380. 5, Terrazzo treads to Michi Terrazzo of Elk Grove Village, Illinois in the amount of $857,000. 6, wall tile and floor tile to Tiles in Style of South Holland, Illinois in the amount of $273,825. 7, millwork to O'Keefe Millwork of River Falls, Wisconsin in the amount of $946,657. 8, overhead doors to Builders Chicago Corporation of Elk Grove Village, Illinois in the amount of $33,066. 9, reject all 4 bids for wood flooring and authorize staff to reissue for bid. And 10, authorize McHugh National to execute said contracts on behalf of the district.
Second.
At first by
That was
Commissioner
really good.
Kubica, second by Commissioner Smentek.
You can go home now.
Jim?
Gets 2 weeks off.
I think, was it Smentek? Right?
Yes.
Okay.
Thank you, Commissioner Graff. Again, we're pleased to bring these to you as well, and Angela will walk you through.
All right, what Commissioner Kubica said.
You're welcome. Good job, Jen.
No, seriously though, on March 9th, we brought bid package 4. We are now here with bid package 5. All the trades that Commissioner Kubica read. And we were recommending 8 of the 9 packages. So wood flooring, we got 4 bids. We feel like the specifications, the bids were a little bit, we could have done a better job of tightening up those bids so that it was apples to apples to apples. Everybody has a little something different. So we're gonna work on those specs. So we're gonna reject them all instead of having kind of prices that weren't comparable.
And Angela, if I may, just to clarify for the board, so the board says this is the gymnasium flooring.
Sorry.
No, it's just that's the wood floor. This isn't hallway or classroom, this is literally gymnasium flooring, so we want to make sure that it is apples to apples, of course.
So all 4 that came in, reputable companies, but they all had a little something different, which then went back to the price and we're like, are we really getting prices there? Commissioner Sheehan also brought up a good question. Fireproofing, that was in bid package 4. We reissued that in bid package 5. We are recommending to accept that bid. The really good news story of all of this is that with 84, almost 85% of the bids let, we are still 4.34% under budget, about $2 million under budget. Bid package 6 is the next one to go out. It's things like interior painting, landscaping, irrigation. So feeling real good where we're at today. Again, as a reminder for the board, we have the GMP, McEwen Nacional, that guaranteed maximum price. So that is awesome, and I'm happy to answer any questions. I will, bid package 6 is going out this Friday and will come to your second meeting in May, I believe. Commissioners.
Were you in charge of the budget for fireproofing?
Yeah, no. We worked with McEwen, but, you know, and again, you know, that is alarming when you look at that, but when the overall, and a piece, and Brian, I'm gonna call on him to help me. A little bit, we changed from how the fireproofing was gonna be applied, right? Those 2 words you taught me. which-
Change the spec somehow?
We have 2 different types of
From
fireproofing,
what we
cementitious
budgeted.
and intumescent. Intumescent is more of a paint. Cementitious is that puffy stuff that you see on fireproofing, and it's just a clarification of what different product goes where, and it's all driven by code.
And probably the budget number was maybe more the puffy stuff and the other is a little more labor intensive.
I think
and
the contractor just wasn't clarified on the first go
Yeah,
around.
yeah.
So we must not do much fireproofing bid requests to
I've
miss it
never
that
done
much,
any
but
in my
I understand your
career. We've not
explanation.
built any, so
Tim?
yes.
So when we originally put that fireproofing bid out, right, and we rejected it, do we know how much different the pricing is this time versus last time?
The bid that we rejected on 227 was for $998,000. That vendor or contractor was unable to meet the financial requirements when McHugh did the scope review, meaning that
They were.
they were able to come up with their bid bond, but were they gonna be able to come up with a performance bond? What were their financials?
Got it, yeah.
Paying in a timely manner, things like that. So because McHugh is holding the papers, the GMP, they're not gonna hire a sales
Yeah.
company who maybe isn't gonna make it through the
Yeah.
whole project. So
Got it, yeah.
that was the
Yep.
reason for the reject.
Sometimes
Yes,
if it seems too good to be true.
Yeah.
I'll split the difference with you if you want to finance it with me.
Yeah, absolutely. No, it's all good, I just was wondering. I just
put the
they're
same-
great, they're great questions, and that was why I had the note of what the last bid was. So.
Thank you, yeah.
Any other questions? And make sure you look at Barbara's donut chart, because it's pretty awesome. Every time I'm like, check my math, the donut changed, so it did. All right, thank you, guys, one more time.
Roll call, please.
Commissioner Kubica?
Aye.
Commissioner Scarpello?
Aye.
Commissioner Sheehan?
Aye.
Commissioner Semente?
Aye.
Commissioner Spath?
Aye.
Commissioner Ubriaco?
Aye.
Commissioner Brass?
Aye, that passes unanimously. Moving on to item 7C, referendum, Wagner Community Center relocation of existing, something or other, existing Comcast equipment, and I do need a motion.
I move.
Go ahead, you got it?
I move that the Board of Park Commissioners approve the Comcast Cable Communications invoice for $85,225.26 to relocate existing equipment and authorize the executive director to execute said invoice accordingly.
I'll second.
First by Commissioner Ubraco, second by Commissioner Sheehan. Jim?
Thank you very much. Angela will walk you through this as well.
Good cable.
All right, very similar to, I brought ComEd to you a number of months ago, but as part of the preparation for the construction at the Wagner site, overhead, underground coaxial and fiber optic cables, and an existing power supply cabinet needed to be relocated because it's gonna fall right where the new parking lot is gonna fall at Wagner Community Center. So staff and the McHugh Nacional team and Dewberry, we've been working with utilities since October. ComEd, we got them to move along pretty quickly, get to the board prior to doing any work. Comcast service lines, which were connected to the existing ComEd pole, required relocation. It's been challenging to say at least, so ComEd, they respond, but, and I'm not, or Comcast, not picking on them, but just was hard to get a bill, so Comcast moved their pole, ComEd moved the pole, Comcast had to go with them, but I'm like, I need a bill, so I got the bill on April 14th, and I am here in front of you today. So they will, the Comcast, if you head east on the site, serves all the neighborhoods there, so they need to get that underground. And so we had to be patient and we couldn't just forge ahead. So this didn't slow us down at all, but I'm looking for approval tonight. We can afford it within the referendum budget. We had money below the line. We knew utilities was gonna be on the district as an expense that we would have. So I'm happy to answer any questions. I did. So let me just get my bearings, West Avenue. So Crockett Avenue here, so that is where we moved, where that circle is on Crockett is where we moved Comcast to, so they were located, my picture's not big enough, so Wagner would be up there, and that's where the boxes were, and that's where the poles that are gonna go away. Did I lose you, Commissioner? I'm sorry.
That's great.
Just trying to put it here on the drawing here, so I got it.
Yeah.
There were overhead lines that ran along our entrance driveway into the Wagner Center, and that's on the other illustration that you have there in your packet, that shows those overhead lines. And those all have to, all the poles have come out and all the lines have to go underground. There, Angela's got it there. And Angela, maybe just point to where the line is above ground. The red arrows are pointing to the poles.
Yep, so that here, here, and here, and then, so we moved out to Crockett, so those poles are going away. Comcast had a pedestal that had power in it, so Comcast ran high, but then the power was a backup, so they're gonna go all underground. We actually found also, MCI has a line out there underground, which.
Everybody raise your hands if you remember MCI.
And Mullen Garden College, that's how you call it, long distance, but Verizon owns MCI now. They're gonna share the trench with Comcast. They do this often on sites where they'll work together. So I've learned a lot about utilities, and I'm almost over the hump, so.
What are the black dotted lines going, yeah, like that one going up into the building? See all those black,
Yep, no,
Yeah.
you see them.
are those electrical of some kind, or they're not cable?
They're not cable, no, they're not cable, and at this point, this is the demo plan, so I'm not sure we're worried about this, because this was demo.
Angela, I can help if you don't mind. On the legend, it says that those are concrete curb and gutter or utility lines to be removed.
Yeah.
So those are various utility lines that are being removed from the site.
I can't see it.
As
Well,
part
if I
of
put my glasses
construction.
on.
I had to literally put my face an inch from the page, but that's how I got. In fact, another example, Angela, the soccer field there is all full of those lines too.
Yeah.
Those are those are the district's underground irrigation lines, which are also being demoed and removed. So this illustration is demolition, but all underground utilities.
So a lot being removed, that's good.
Oh, yeah.
Yep, yep. So,
Good.
and
Clean it up.
eventually, so the new Comcast, or the new ComEd wound up with a transformer in this corner here, and everything will be underground, and the transformer will be, shielded by, shrubbery and things like that, so.
On district property.
On district property, correct, so, but this was step one.
Thank you.
Or step 16, but, so thank you. So some of the work has been done, but then in order for them to continue with the directional bore, the guy's like, well, just sign the contract. I'm like, I can't sign an $85,000 contract. So tomorrow morning we'll send the signed contract, so thank you. Thank you.
Sounds good.
Roll call, please.
Commissioner Scarpelli?
Aye.
Commissioner Sheen?
Aye.
Commissioner Smentek?
Aye.
Commissioner Spaeth?
Aye.
Commissioner Ubriaco?
Aye.
Commissioner Kubica? Aye. Commissioner Kraft?
Aye, that passes unanimously. Moving on to board business, unfinished old 8A, the board policy manual revisions, the communication electronic attendance, and bond record-keeping requirements, and I do need a motion.
I move that the Board of Park Commissioners review and approve the recommended changes to Board Policy 5.17, meeting attendance via electronic means, and inclusion of 4.38, bond record-keeping requirements, and Appendix C, bond record-keeping requirements in the Board Policy Manual.
Second.
First by Commissioner Smentek, second by Commissioner Scarcella. Jim?
Thank you very much. We are pleased to bring these two changes to you. I'm about to say things that will steal Laura's thunder, and I won't, so Laura will take you through it. On behalf of the Board Policy Committee.
Yes, so, thank you. So the first change.
Excuse me, Laura, I'm sorry, the esteemed Board Policy Committee. Commissioner Smentek just corrected me.
Yes, I'm honored to represent and explain these two recommended changes to your board policy manual. that the Board Policy Committee has reviewed. And one relates to an amendment to the Open Meetings Act that was approved by the Illinois legislature and approved by the governor also in 2025. This is just to allow an additional reason why a commissioner can attend a meeting via electronic means. So this is just adding one of these reasons when a commissioner does not have to be physically present at a meeting to your meeting attendance via electronic means policy. And so this is just to reflect state law, and the reason is if you're in active military duty as a service member, and that's defined in Illinois state law, what active military duty is and what a service member is, then you can attend a meeting via electronic means as long as it's in compliance with your policy.
It's kind of a good business reason.
Yes.
Yeah, it's a business, right?
Yeah, yeah. I was talking to one of the commissioners today about previously.
Surprises me.
That individual could have said for work reasons that
Yeah.
they can't attend, but obviously the legislature wanted to codify that. Yeah.
Yes, so
Sounds good.
the attachment, you have an attachment A, how this is reflected in, or would be reflected if you approve it in the board policy manual. And then the second recommended update is to add the board's bond record-keeping requirements policy when preparing the referendum bond post-compliance report. Chapman and Cutler recommended that the district's bond council recommended that the board approved policy, approved it in 2014 for bond record-keeping requirements be added to the board policy manual. And this is just the requirements for demonstrating compliance with bond covenants, the record-keeping requirements that the district has to follow. And I'm gonna have to read this. Expectations to ensure the appropriate federal tax status for district obligations. So that's why you had to complete or approve the record-keeping report as it relates to the referendum bonds earlier this year. So now if you approve that policy to be included in the board policy manual, it will be in attachment C of the manual. And since these were two changes, one being that it's state law and a minor change to the meeting attendance via electronic means policy, and then the other policy was already approved by the board previously, that's why the board policy committee decided that there really wasn't a need to meet, but recommended that these policies be brought to the board for approval. So are there any questions about the policy changes?
Bless you.
All right, roll call, please.
Commissioner Sheehan?
Aye.
Commissioner Smentek?
Aye.
Commissioner Space?
Aye.
Commissioner Ubriaco?
Aye.
Commissioner Fabisa?
Aye.
Commissioner Scarpella?
Aye.
And Commissioner Kraft?
Aye, that passes unanimously. Moving on to board business, new, 9A, the employment agreement for Executive Director Rogers, and I do need a motion.
I move that the Board of Park Commissioners amend Executive Director Rogers' contract effective May 1st, 2026 by awarding a one-time bonus of $8,000.
Second.
I have first by Commissioner Scarsello, second by Commissioner Sheehan. Claire?
Thank you. So I wanted to say something before opening up the comments that this has been a rewarding and challenging year. So thank you, Jim, for your service to the community and the district. Jim found himself navigating prolonged board-level disagreement that placed significant disproportionate demands on his time and energy. But through it all, he remained professional, focused, and committed to this community. He managed a difficult year with patience and integrity while continuing to advance and complete major district initiatives and serve residents well. So I believe this bonus reflects the complete picture of his work this year. And I'll open up for any other comments, but I appreciate you.
Thank you.
Any other comments? No? Thank you, Jim. Megan?
Me too. I have a haiku. I thought of it
You
this
weren't
morning.
expecting this, were you?
I can't resist. It was too fun. Another year signed, guiding parks and people well. We're glad you're still here.
I am as well. Thank you.
Excellent. Thank you, Jim, for a nice, great 2025. All right, roll call, please.
Commissioner Smentek,
Aye.
Commissioner Spade,
No.
Commissioner Ubriaco.
No.
Commissioner Fabisa,
Aye.
Commissioner Scarsella,
Aye.
Commissioner Sheehan,
Aye.
Commissioner Grant.
Aye, that motion passes. Moving on to board business new, 9B, training on new board document portal. Jim?
Thank you very much. We are very pleased to bring this to you. Nympha, you and I didn't really talk. Do you want me to walk through the overview memo stuff and then you'll do
Sure.
your deal? So, and it's ironic because Commissioner Sheena just asked me today, totally coincidentally, but Board Docs, our current portal, is having some issues today where if any of you tried to access it this afternoon, it's not operating. It's totally coincidental to tonight's presentation, of course, but good timing if we had planned it that way. But in June of last year, we signed a new 3-year contract with Diligent, the parent company of Board Docs, with the understanding that Board Docs was being phased out and that they were replacing it with a new portal called Diligent Community, which is a more modern cloud-based portal. As I said, it's not a change in vendor, but an upgrade to a completely new system that will allow for improved navigation, note-taking features, and mobile device viewing. Then coincidentally, in August of last year, Commissioner Braco placed an item on future agenda for the district to explore a more transparent portal, so we're pleased that we believe that this will meet that request. And again, I'm sorry if I'm stealing any thunder.
No.
Okay, not yet, good. All existing information in Board Docs will be or has been transferred to the new system. And if we go back to, is it 2017 in Board Docs?
Correct.
So everything back to 2017 is in there. As we said, for tonight's meeting, we have it on both portals, although, as we said, Board Docs is having some issues today. But after this evening, we will shift to Diligent. We are also planning to do a brief press release to notify the community and any residents who might be going on the website and things that we are on the new portal. But we're excited about it and the features. And Nympha's going to offer you, certainly answer any questions that she goes through, but offer you kind of a little bit of a training on it. I know a number of you have already had the chance to be in it, so hopefully some of this will start to be familiar for you.
Okay, most of you have already signed on.
Right now.
I'm going to sign on as if you were signing in. I noticed that sometimes I need to enter it twice. I have no idea why.
But you type fast.
Okay, so when you land, you're going to get, this is your landing page. And here you're going to hit community, because that's what they call it. And this is our current meetings, and these are the previous meetings. We go back, as Jim said, from 2017. So for tonight, we're going to work on this one. And right away when it opens up both agendas, the agenda and a duplicate on the side. This is going to be, the left side is for navigation purposes. So if you would click on something, it moves it to the top here. And of course, as everyone knows, anytime there's a paperclip, that means it's an attachment. It'll open there. If you bounce back to the agenda, you click here, back to the agenda item. Continue down. And you'll notice a little star with a circle. That is an action item. And the motion can be read either hovering over it, here, or on this side, on the right side. And anytime you see a padlock, that means it is locked from the public. Only members, commissioners can see that item. Continue on.
Nymph, I'm sorry, if I could just make a small point there, just for point of comparison to Board Docs. I believe with Board Docs, if it was something that was board member eyes only, it just didn't even appear to the public, am I correct in that? Whereas now, it appears, but it's got the little lock on it.
Yes. Okay, and moving down. Like I said, you can either hover over something, but something like this, I would not read it from here. I would go to the agenda item itself and read it from there. And then moving on from there, if you didn't like the side panel, you could turn it off from here. But I would recommend leaving it on because that's your best way to navigate. If I ever give you something that is not orientated right, you can always click it this way. Orientated. You need to see something differently. This is simply continue page by page and so forth. If this is too small, you could always enlarge it up to 6,400%.
Wow.
But I think 150 is about good.
It is, I agree with that. 150 works.
Yeah. You could pan going up and down this way, but I don't think most people would use that. They just use the scrolling up and down the wheel. And here, if we move further to the right, we have some tools for highlighting. And if you turn it off, you can click it back on. There's underlining. Again, there's also freehand. If you, obviously I'm using my mouse, but if you have a stylus, you could probably write much better. And let's say you didn't want that anymore, you could just, oops, let me turn it off. Click on it, and you have the option to delete. Perhaps you made a mistake or something. And this is,
Control Z also works for undo.
it does?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. So if you hit the side panel, there's options to do annotations. Anytime you see this little call out, that means there's an annotation. You can also look for your annotations. Perhaps you wrote something about consent, it brings it up for you. If you want to look within, search within the document, you would have to use this one up here. Okay? You could enter full screen. There's a full screen. There's option to download a document. You could print a document with no annotations or with comments or annotations. The nice thing is these annotations are great for your reviewing the agenda items, and you have a note that you want to discuss with Jim. This would be the place to put it in. No one else will see your comments except for yourself. They won't. I won't be able to see them. No one will be able to see them except for you. Let's see what else. I can go back to the home right here. This brings you back, and you could do searches for other board meetings. There's got to be something in here about that. And there we have it.
Can you print out a whole board meeting at once?
Yes, you can.
How do you do
That one
that?
was 82 pages.
Right, so if I wanted to print that last meeting, where would you go?
You mean like this one?
Yeah, and it prints all the attachments?
Yeah, you can download the whole thing.
You don't have to go into each
No,
item and
no,
print it?
no, but I wouldn't do it.
No, sometimes if,
Just have me
you know,
print it.
Yeah.
Yeah, but yes, you can.
But Nympha, just to clarify, the one thing you were saying is if you wanted to print the packet, your suggestion is download it first and then print it,
Yeah.
not print from here necessarily to do
Yeah.
that many pages,
Because
yeah.
then they realize, I don't really need all those pages.
but you get the same functionality if you download it?
Yeah, so I have this and I could just print it, I'll just print the agenda, but yeah, I can. I don't recall how you can do the whole agenda.
Or you mean the whole packet?
The whole
Yeah.
packet.
With all the attachments,
With all
right?
the attachments.
It may not do that, I'm
That's it.
assuming it
It
does.
does, it does. 82 pages.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you have to highlight them on the left?
You could always
If you just
uncheck.
wanted that page, yeah, but you want the whole thing. This is the whole-
Well, let's say I want 10 pages, do you highlight them like,
When
if you
do
click
your
on them, they
print-
turn color?
I would do when you do your print, you would.
Choose your pages.
you
Oh,
would
okay, I
suggest
see it.
You would do it here. Yeah.
Okay, great.
Okay.
Not that I'm ever gonna do it, but it's nice to know.
And if we have a little library here. Right now, we only have documents in here internally, which is for the board and for staff. So we don't have much in there. And for the public view, it's this here. I thought it looked like a radio, but it's actually a website.
Yep, it's an upside.
On most full. And here is the profile for the public. I think it looks pretty awesome.
Better. It does look good.
It's very nice. I love it.
There's the upcoming meetings.
It can only be better.
They cannot click on these because we don't have anything on there, but all of these past meetings they can.
Good.
My suggestion is if someone wanted to see a meeting, let's go for this one. It'd be best if they split the screen. It's easier in navigation.
Oh, that's nice.
Mhm.
So this is Nympha tested tough. All
And
right.
Nympha, you've been not sampling, can't think of the right term, but working with this for how long?
For a while, but it's more that we took a while to launch it.
You beta tested.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And the
awesome.
beginning was
It's good.
slow, but it got better.
Great.
Okay, any questions?
No, thank you.
Are we going to, or is Diligent going to put a redirect on our board doc site, or is that gonna be taken down at some point?
We'll take it down because given that this has the same history, there won't be any need for it. So what we'll do is oh, you mean, but if you mean if someone still goes there?
Correct. Or will we have a redirect, or can they do a redirect?
It'll be a new link, right?
Yeah, it's a whole new link.
But I guess what Kevin's getting is people who've bookmarked it.
Correct.
Yes, they will,
It's
well,
not
if they
bookmarked on my phone.
bookmark it, it won't go to the right one, right? They'd have to start it
I
on.
can press one button and get in it. Much better than board
Right,
docs.
but are we gonna put something on do we have the ability to put something on that front page to say, go here for the most current,
Version.
When you said, do you mean on board docs or
Yes.
on this?
on board docs?
That's a good question, we could ask.
Bless you.
At least for a period of a time, it would be helpful to have that, to have a link
Yeah,
to the new
yeah,
site.
rather than just get, file not found type of a thing.
Right.
Yeah, we can ask that for sure.
Oh, yeah.
Question.
You're right.
Good question. If you have any additional questions about the software as you're working with it, you can certainly talk to me on Mondays, or if you want to get a good and accurate answer, please feel free to send a direct message to NIMFA. I'm learning it along with everyone as well. I only have about 1 or 2 questions a day for her, so, but as you do, please let us
Very
know.
good.
But we're very excited about it. It really is a lot more user-friendly. I kind of make it akin to when we went to Active. Not only was it just generally better, but obviously kind of that new generation of, the tools and the functionality, and we think it'll be, obviously not only serve you as the board better, but serve the community better as well.
In the school district is already
Yep.
using.
And cities, so school district first, then us, and then city is gonna make
The
the switch.
city is waiting for us.
Oh, and
You're
did I?
gonna get
have
so
an
many
info.
emails.
They don't have an info.
They do actually.
And they
do?
Well, I mean,
Yeah,
they have
they do.
someone, they don't have an info, let's be honest. Did I already say, but we're going to launch this tomorrow then on the website, and
Great.
make the shift then, oh, I'm sorry, and put out did I say it's a press release out to the community to let folks know about that change as well.
Thank you.
Thank you, NIMSA.
Yeah, great job.
Thank you, Nipa. All right, moving on to information items 10A, commissioner announcements. Are there any commissioner announcements? No? All right, moving on to 10B, future agenda.
Just the one question, as Commissioner Uberaka, would you be comfortable for us to remove that item? Okay, we will remove the transparency portal, thank you.
All right, 10C, staff announcements.
Thank you, and I was gonna start with Brian McDermott in the corner, but someone has stolen his chair because he's not here, so we'll start with Barbara.
Good evening. Since your last board meeting, the district received notice that the 2026 budget document was awarded the GFOA's Distinguished Budget Award. This is the district's 20th consecutive year receiving the award. This award is the highest form of recognition in governmental budgeting.
Those two is all. Thank you, Barbara.
Beat that, Laura.
I try to work as a team, and I try to make it competition, but. And I will also mention Laura's a big part of the budget process and part of the award as well. Just kidding.
I'm just saying.
I know. No,
I
good.
was here when we first got them.
There you go.
Oh,
Boom, and we did
I
it.
was too, but it wasn't that how I Okay, yeah, I got mental health, the park cleanout. We did a park cleanout as part of our DIB calendar to recognize National Volunteer Month and Earth Day. So we cleaned up a small portion of Barron's Park with the help of the Parks Department, including cutting down buckthorn, the invasive species. And then in May, we're gonna be doing, for National Mental Health Awareness Month, there's gonna be a drop-in for staff at the conservatory too, where they can get a packet of seeds, and we're getting help from the horticulture team too on that one. And doing it with the E team also, play activities team. So that's it.
Thank you, Lynn. Christie.
We started season startup at East End Pool last week and into this week. I know, pool season. Yay. But we started power washing. We found a couple of areas that we need to repair in the steps. And we're cleaning the gutters. The gutter grates arrived on Friday, so we'll start installing those this week.
Wonderful, thank you. Julie?
I think I mentioned that we have a bunch of interns in the HR nurse department, and just like that, we're going to start saying goodbye to them. On Thursday, Kelly and I will be at Fenton for internship celebration for Mia, and then next Tuesday, Roshni will be presenting her paper, her topic idea for her UIC internship program. So I think some staff here will be attending that. So.
Thank you, Julie. Ellie?
So last week I attended the GMS conference, which is the government IT conference for all things IT. And of course, they couldn't stop talking. Every vendor there is talking about AI and cybersecurity. So we were definitely, well, some people thought they leave with a breath of information. I usually leave with higher anxiety than I came with, because then you're listening to all the stories of what's going on. And we have shared with the Park District staff as well what is going on in municipality as far as cyber breaches go, and just trying to make sure they're very aware that it's very real, but that we are doing a great job as an organization on staying cyber safe and reporting, so that's good.
Thank you. Sarah?
We're finishing up all the summer hiring. It's been a great year so far, and speaking of the pools, this year we have 79% of the staff. The entire staff is returning to work at the pools, with an 85% return rate for lifeguards. So we have about 30 new lifeguards overall, which is the smallest number I have
probably ever.
Yeah.
It's usually the other way around. We have 30.
Yes.
It's great, wonderful. Thank you, Sarah. Angela?
Wagner Community Center, super exciting, in the northwest corner of the site. Opened up West Avenue, starting to connect to the main and drop down. So this morning I was so excited, big pipe getting dropped off. So they're doing that work, site utilities, underground. Hopefully rest of a dry week and we keep moving forward. So it's really fun.
Thank you. Dan?
Staff have been busy the last 2 weeks prepping Wilder for Art Wilder Park. We're just putting on finishing touches this week, and the event's this Saturday at 7, sorry.
Thank you. And NIPA has a little something.
I have a little gift for you. This is our first green tags.
I knew you'd have these today. I knew it. I was driving here, I'm like, I bet Nympha's gonna have.
Oh, those look awesome.
Yeah, that's exciting. Wow. Pretty groovy. I love
Remember your names.
And we will also get you a second as well. NIMFA's working on doing our first batch now. And I'm going to brag on NIMFA again a little bit because she's not getting enough positive feedback tonight. But when we previously used to purchase these, have them printed and purchased, they were what, $11 a piece? Yes. $11 a piece. NIMFA, being NIMFA, of course, figured out that we could buy the blanks for $1 and print them in-house. So these have all been printed in-house, which is amazing as well. And when you think about, we have, I mean, I don't know, probably a couple of hundred staff that have name tags, if not more, perhaps. Huge savings. And obviously the replacement of things when people might misplace, lose, it's really wonderful. So thank you, NIMFA, and we're excited about the, obviously the new branding as well. Just a couple things I wanted to mention. One is that both IEPD related. Next Tuesday and Wednesday, Commissioners Garcella, Smentek, and I, along with Carrie, will be down in Springfield for Parks Day on Tuesday, and then the Legislative Conference Tuesday into Wednesday. So we will be at that. And then just wanted to mention and follow up on the email that I forwarded to you today about Senate Bill 3907. IEPD is continuing to effort on that very strongly. It sounds like they're they haven't been quite as successful yet as they had hoped. So if you do get a chance, please, I gave you the phone numbers again. Feel free, or please make a phone call. You don't have to go into large detail, but just kind of share some of those talking points from the email. I talked to Susie Glowacz-Hilton's, Senator Susie Glowacz-Hilton's Chief of Staff this afternoon. Excuse me. We played phone tag and then I emailed and gave him the details, and I talked to him last time as well. And then also reach out to Senator Lightfoot as well. But anything you do to get the word out. What this bill is this is, and if I don't remember if I said this in the meeting before, board meeting before. I think maybe I haven't, but The Illinois Department of Child and Family Services, DCFS, is going away for reasons none of us have to guess. It is being replaced by a new department called IDEC, Illinois Department of Early Childhood. They are taking over the functions of DCFS, but what is also proposed is that they would have oversight and licensure, and I should say, DCFS has always licensed preschools that require DCFS licensure in terms of how long in the day they meet and daycare facilities and things like that. We as a park district have not been subject to licensure through the state of Illinois. The rules and regulations that are being put together for the new department would call for basically all recreational programs offered by units of local government in the state of Illinois to be licensed by this new department. And why IEPD and park districts feel that that's not necessary is the reason why they're looking to do that is to ensure the safety of participants. But the things that are safety related, park districts already do, like background checks and mandated reporter training and so on and so forth, which is in the fact sheet that IEPD attached. And Sarah and I were literally just talking about that when you walked in, and sorry if we were in your way, but we were talking about it a moment ago before the meeting. And one of the things that's so challenging, and IEPD again has done a great job of reaching out to the districts to get data from us, is we don't feel like they can possibly have any idea what they are suggesting doing, that they would take one of our brochures, and that every program in there would be subject to licensure, which means, going through a format and filling out, and it's just hard to believe that they even understand what they're suggesting taking on. Even if somebody thought it was a good idea, you're talking hundreds of thousands of programs at all of the park districts throughout the state. So and I've not had a chance to ask IEPD, we'll find out more at the legislative conference for sure, but why this is being proposed, because it feels to me like it's one of those I have a political thought about it, which I won't get into, but it's really, to me, feels like one of those solutions in search of a problem. It's not like there have been problems with park district programs being administered and run the way they have been for decades. So sorry, not to belabor that, but if you get a chance, please, send an email, make a phone call, because it's critically important. And if it's not resolved, it'll certainly be one of the hot topic, I should say, down in Springfield.
Yeah. It will damage it'll damage small communities, because they just won't be able to afford that kind of licensure.
No, they'll do it for free, right?
Well, and the other thing, and unfortunately, it's even written, some of the rules and processes you'll have to follow are to be developed too. So there's nothing scarier than that. Say, well, you'll be licensed, and we'll tell you how it's going to happen later. So yes, it's not necessary more than anything. There's no, like I said, it's a solution in search of a problem in my opinion. So we will continue to advocate along those lines. So thank you. That concludes staff announcements.
All right, I need a motion to adjourn open session.
So moved.
A second.
First by Commissioner Space, second by Commissioner Sheehan. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? We are adjourned at 8:03.